Hi, everyone. My name is Nicholas Chan, and I am the Director of Digital Pathology at Motic. And today I'm here to talk to everyone a little bit about digital pathology and how it's really a tool to help minimize the interruptions and maximize safety for everyone in the world of COVID-19. So the reality today of not just pathology, but travel in general, or the world in general, is just that, COVID-19 has brought out gated travel. So it's very difficult to travel internationally. You're talking about having to do quarantines, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, depending on your departure and your arrival location. If you come to the US, for instance, there might not be a quarantine, but then when you go home, you might have to do a quarantine. And anyways, you can get vaccinated. You can, with the Delta variant today, no matter what you do, there's still a very real risk of exposure. And I don't need to be telling everyone this. This is a room full of doctors. So, but what that translates into really is that, there are no in-person conferences, as exhibited by the fact that I'm recording this in our American office. All the extended research visits and humanitarian visits, those are also canceled. A lot of international projects come to a standstill or significantly impaired because this travel and on-site visits are just such a key part of collaborative work. So that's sort of the reality that we live in today, with COVID being around. And today I wanted to talk very briefly about two solutions that Motic offers in digital pathology that can help keep those projects going, or ways to help you restart those projects. So the first one I want to talk about is something that we call Modic Flow, and it's our case sharing platform. So one of the ways where you do this is you can deploy a scanner to digitize slides at a remote location. And so you can connect with your partners anywhere. If you're a lab, you can connect with your partners internationally. If you're a pathologist, you can work with a lab that's thousands of miles away that you would not otherwise be able to reach. So this is a case sharing platform that is role-based. So labs will create cases, assign them to a pathologist who can then sign them out. It's fully cloud-based on the cloud. And really the key here is that it's really designed for low volume users. So as you can see here, we've highlighted the Motic 6-slide scanner and the single slide scanner. And really this platform is just designed together with our scanners to enable small, low volume deployments in any environment, super robust with high quality, standard 40x capable scans for digital pathology. Now, what does this look like? So here you can see that on the lab side, their job, just to walk through that workflow again, is to create the cases. So there's a form they can fill out all the relevant case information. And then on the side here, you can see on the right-hand side, that's where they add the slides, and they can also, there's a small viewer for them to check it, that the scan quality is good before they send it out. Then it goes to the pathologist, and the pathologist sees the case when they log in and they see their case list. And obviously all of these are just example cases. So you don't have to worry about patient information or anything of the sort. And then once a pathologist sees the case, they can open it. All the information from the lab is laid out. They can take snapshots, they can write their interpretation, and then they can submit it back to the lab. There's also some communication functions here, such as a chat window at the bottom. So then the lab would receive that report, they can print it out. And that's the case sharing platform. It's just really designed to be very simple, very easy to use. The steps are very clear for every party involved. And it's not just a one pathologist to one lab. You can have many pathologists consulting with many different labs. And one thing I do want to note here is that these scans that you see here were done on the Motic scanners. The gross image obviously is not. So that's one way. And this is something that this is a platform that we've been using for several years now, in particular with the ASCP Partners in Cancer initiative. So ASCP is the American Society of Clinical Pathology. We work with them. We've been a part of this program since 2018. We're at over 12 to 15 sites in Africa where they have their scanners in their lab environments, and they're scanning and uploading cases to the pathologists in the US who are then giving their consultations. Now, Motic is simply a partner participant in this. ASCP is the one leading this program, but the key thing I would highlight here is because this has been fully digital, this initiative is continuing even during COVID, and there's no interruption because we've digitized the entire workflow and there's no need for travel. And so this is something where you could apply that on any level with a Motic scanner, anywhere from our single slide scanner up to our 6-slide scanner, all the way to our 60 and 100 slide higher volume scans. Every one of our scanners outputs 40x scans in high quality. They're built to be robust and to be able to handle any sort of lab environment. So we have labs here that use us here in the US. And then also in Africa where it's humid, it might be a little bit dusty. And this is something that just, we pride ourselves on our scanners being rugged and being able to handle anything you can really throw at it in the lab environment. I also want to point out that especially this is not just for tissue, it's also great for cytology. We have this sort of unique function for extended depth of field where it takes a Z-stack, but then it picks out all the best in focus parts, and then it condenses it to a single layer. So instead of having to deal with a multi-gigabyte 40x cytology scan, you can compress that down into a single layer, which would still be quite large at hundreds of megabytes, but then it would just be a single layer, make it much easier to send and consult in between the lab and the pathologist. Now, I would be remiss if I also didn't mention this second way that you can do it, that you can do digital pathology without needing to travel. And one of them is with our FS Live program, which is for live remote collaboration. Now, we built this so that the pathologist can, from their desk, control the scanner in real time in a separate location. So it could be in the lab of a partner hospital or somewhere halfway across the world. The whole point of this is that this is in real time. You're viewing the sample in real time. It's being streamed across the internet to the pathologist's desktop, and the pathologist has full control over the slide. So they can change the depths, they can move the sample around, they can switch objectives, and all of this is done just to enable remote frozen sections or cytology adequacy checks. And I really do have to say that then here, this is where we built some really fantastic functions like continuous autofocus, which completely eliminates the need for the pathologist to do anything on focusing in the entire process. So you don't have to refocus every 5 frames or so. The scanner just takes care of this completely for you. And this is something that this is totally independent. This is in the public domain, so I can mention it. Cleveland Clinic did a validation study after using our system in their setting for over a 12-month period. And this is something that we're quite proud of. And so any questions at all about here? I hope today I've managed to present several thought-provoking ways of how digital pathology can be used to restart collaboration between you and your partner institutions, especially given this day and age where travel is getting more and more. We're still quite restrictive, and hoping we can get through this. But in the meantime, I think these are some great tools that you can use to re-engage on your collaborations. So please do reach out to our partners here in Japan, NLab. They're fully knowledgeable about our solutions, and we work very, very closely with them. And with that, I'll turn this back over to Yuka Sensei.